Humans kept fighting after their souls flatlined. That was the first impossible report. We dismissed it. We always dismiss impossible reports. I am Senior Memory Auditor Vecthal of the 9th Observation Choir. My species does not see time as a straight line. We taste probability before events happen. Wars end before they begin. Victories are calculated centuries in advance. Nothing surprises us. Until humanity. The first fleet entered Seoul carrying surrender protocols. Not invasion. Not extermination. Just surrender. Every civilization eventually surrendered. That was how intelligent life behaved. The pattern never failed. A weaker species measured the odds. It accepted reality. It survived by obedience. Humans would be no different. That was my first mistake. Our diplomats transmitted every possible future. Resistance, economic collapse, planetary bombardment, orbital starvation, mathematical certainty. The humans received everything. Then they laughed. Not politely, not nervously. They laughed like our predictions were entertainment. I marked it as psychological denial. Primitive species often rejected unpleasant truths. Nothing unusual. Our fleet advanced. Thousands of ships, gravity breakers, quantum lances, living cruisers, enough firepower to silence stars. Earth should have surrendered before the first orbital formation. Instead, every civilian transport launched. Children, workers, farmers, scientists, millions of vessels filled the sky. I understood immediately. Panic, mass evacuation, the expected response. I congratulated myself. Humans finally accepted reality. Then every civilian ship accelerated directly toward our fleet. No escape vector. No defensive formation. Straight at us. Confusion spread through our command network. The civilians carried almost no weapons. Some carried none at all. This made perfect sense. Desperate creatures often behaved irrationally before extinction. Another predictable pattern. Then the first collision happened. A mining ship rammed one of our destroyers. The destroyer survived. The mining ship became plasma, exactly as expected. Yet, the destroyer's shield failed. Power systems overloaded. Sensors exploded. Its reactor entered emergency shutdown. One civilian ship had disabled a military vessel worth thousands of times its mass. Impossible. Our analysts blamed hidden technology. There had to be a secret weapon. Humans could not intentionally sacrifice themselves. Intelligent beings protected themselves above all else. That law had never failed. The second wave arrived. Freighters, cargo haulers, construction barges, old rusted machines held together by hope and welded metal. They crashed into our formation from every direction. No tactics, no elegant formations, pure chaos. Our computers struggled. They searched for patterns. There were none. Every prediction collapsed. The battlefield became noise. I watched admirals panic for the first time in recorded history. Still, victory remained inevitable. Humans were destroying themselves faster than us. Simple mathematics. The law of attrition favored our fleet. I relaxed. Eventually they would run out of bodies. Eventually instinct would overcome madness. Eventually survival would return. Instead, Earth grew quieter. Not louder. Quieter. No new launches. No emergency broadcasts. No negotiations. The entire planet simply stopped speaking. I examined every frequency. Nothing. Our commander smiled. Finally, they had accepted surrender. The silence proved submission. I approved the conclusion. It fit every historical pattern. Then our sensors detected something beneath Earth's oceans. Factories. Thousands. No. Millions. Hidden beneath kilometers of water. Machines awakening. Impossible. Humans had concealed industrial worlds under their own seas. Why? What species hides its greatest strength beneath water? Water corrodes machinery. Water limits efficiency. It made no logical sense. Another human mistake. I almost laughed. Then those factories opened. Entire oceans split apart. Steel mountains rose from the depths. Shipyards. Endless shipyards. Older than first contact. Older than our earliest probes. Earth had been preparing for invasion before knowing aliens existed. That possibility violated reason itself. Our predictive engines crashed, literally crashed. They overheated, attempting to calculate impossible behavior. Fresh human warships emerged. Not elegant, not beautiful. Every hull carried scars. Every surface looked repaired 1,000 times. Every vessel looked ancient. I assumed they were obsolete. Old reserve fleets. Ceremonial relics. Humans loved primitive traditions. Another comforting conclusion. Then one of those relics fired. Not at us. At the moon. The entire lunar surface exploded into fragments. My consciousness froze. They had destroyed their own moon. No intelligent civilization destroys its own moon. The debris spread exactly where our fleet intended to maneuver. Millions of new projectiles. Orbital trajectories calculated decades earlier. It was a trap. The moon had become ammunition. Our formation dissolved. Ships collided. Gravity fields collapsed. Human warships entered the chaos. Their weapons remained silent. Instead, they accelerated. Closer. Closer still. They wanted point-blank combat. Why? Long-range weapons were superior. Distance increased survival. Every military doctrine agreed. Humans ignored them all. One cruiser scraped across the side of our carrier. Metal screamed through vacuum. Human soldiers jumped across the burning gap. Without hesitation. Without fear. Boarding actions. Primitive. Wasteful. Suicidal. Exactly what desperate species attempted during extinction. Except, the human smiled. I magnified the recordings. Every helmet camera showed the same expressions. Excitement. Not panic. Not despair. Excitement. I archived it as a hormonal malfunction. There was no other explanation. Hours passed. Our fleet still held numerical superiority. Victory remained inevitable. I repeated those words constantly. Victory remained inevitable. Yet every projection became worse. Not because humans destroyed more ships. Because they refused to behave consistently. Sometimes they retreated. Sometimes they charged. Sometimes they ignored strategic objectives entirely. They abandoned valuable positions. Then attacked worthless ones. They sacrificed destroyers to protect tiny medical transports. Minutes later, they sacrificed medical transports to protect a single engineer. No equation explained them. No probability tree survived contact. Their entire civilization behaved like one enormous contradiction. Our greatest strength had always been prediction. Humans erased prediction itself. Then the impossible report reached me. Human casualties. Confirmed dead. Confirmed biologically dead. Cardiac failure. Brain inactivity. Complete clinical death. Then, several soldiers resumed fighting. Medical error. Obviously, our doctors verified the data. Death, followed by movement. Impossible. Another explanation had to exist. Cybernetic replacement. Artificial intelligence. Hidden cloning. Anything. Everything. Except resurrection. I erased the report. It polluted logical archives. Minutes later, 23 identical reports arrived. From different battlefields. Different species. Different observers. Different sensors. Humans kept returning after death. I refused to believe it. I still believed surrender was inevitable. I still believed survival ruled every intelligent mind. I still believed humans fear death like everyone else. Then I intercepted a human transmission from a burning boarding craft drifting toward one of our command fortresses. Only one voice spoke. Calm. Steady. Almost amused. If I'm already dead, what's left to be afraid of? For the first time in my existence, I was no longer certain the impossible report was wrong. I was wrong. Not about the battle. About the species. We believed survival meant avoiding death. Humans believed survival meant protecting something greater than themselves. That difference shattered an empire. The boarding craft struck our command fortress. No shield stopped it. It was already burning apart. Its engines were dead. Its hull was gone. Momentum alone carried it forward. We expected corpses. Instead, the wreck split open. Humans poured into the breach. Some limped. Some bled. Some should not have been standing. Our scanners still declared several of them biologically dead. Impossible. Again, I rejected the readings. Again. Then one human collapsed. His heart stopped. Our sensors confirmed it. 3 seconds later, another human slammed a fist into his chest. The fallen soldier gasped. He stood. He picked up his weapon. He kept running. No miracle. No resurrection. No broken law of nature. Only relentless refusal. I had mistaken temporary death for surrender. Humans called it bringing him back. I did not understand. I still do not. The fortress became a nightmare. Not because the humans were stronger. Because they refused to stop. Every corridor we sealed became another entrance. Every explosion created another path. Every fallen soldier became a reason for 10 more to advance. I searched for the command signal controlling them. There had to be one. No army acted with such unity. No centralized signal existed. Every human chose. Individually. Freely. Again and again. They all reached the same conclusion. Forward. Always forward. I labeled it collective irrationality. It comforted me. For 6 minutes. Then our central reactor failed. Not destroyed. Disconnected. One human engineer had crawled through coolant pipes hotter than volcanic magma. His protective suit had melted away. His skin had burned black. He disconnected the reactor manually. He died seconds later. The fortress survived. The explosion never came. His own squad cursed him. Not because he failed, because he had died before they could drag him back. I stared at the recording. They mourned. While advancing. How? Grief should stop efficiency. Instead, it accelerated them. Outside the fortress, the battle grew worse. Our flagship fired its stellar lance. A weapon designed to split continents. The beam struck Earth's surface. An entire mountain disappeared. We celebrated. Briefly. Then the dust cleared. The mountain had been empty. Human cities were gone. Factories were gone. Military bases were gone. All evacuated. Weeks ago. Months ago. Perhaps years. They had expected exactly where we would strike. Not because they predicted our weapons. Because they prepared for every possibility. Every city had another city beneath it. Every bunker had another bunker below. Every road concealed railways. Every forest hid supplies. Every coastline concealed shipyards. Every hospital was also a command center. Everything had another purpose. Nothing existed alone. I finally understood the oceans. The hidden factories were never their greatest secret. They were only the backup. The backups had backups. Humans planned for failure, then planned for failing those plans. Our civilization planned only for success. That was our weakness. A transmission interrupted every military frequency. A human admiral, old, gray-haired, covered in blood. He smiled, not with confidence, with exhaustion. You still think this is about winning? No one answered. He continued. It never was. The transmission ended. Our commanders laughed. Meaningless words. Defeated species often spoke in riddles. I believed them. For exactly 12 more minutes. Then reports flooded every command node. Supply convoys destroyed. Communication relays missing. Fuel reserves contaminated. Navigation beacons altered. Entire star maps rewritten. The humans had never been trying to defeat the fleet. They were dismantling everything behind it. The invasion was starving. Ship by ship, station by station. Our armada remained powerful. But power without supply became decoration. For the first time, retreat entered strategic discussions. Impossible. Empires do not retreat. We had not retreated in 8,000 years. The council refused. Pride overruled mathematics. Humans exploited that instantly. Civilian broadcasts filled open channels. Not propaganda. Cooking lessons. Children singing. Families rebuilding damaged homes. Farmers planting crops beneath shattered skies. I assumed it was deception. Psychological warfare. Then I realized something horrifying. It was real. While we fought to conquer Earth, Earth had already returned to living. The war was not consuming them. Life was defeating war. I cannot process it. My species paused existence during conflict. Humans refused. They carried existence into conflict. Then the final order arrived from our High Council. Destroy Earth. No occupation. No surrender. Erase the planet. Every remaining superweapon aligned. Thousands of them. enough to turn a world into dust. Victory through annihilation. At last, a logical decision. The firing sequence began. Human ships charged. Too late. Far too late. Nothing could stop the barrage. I recorded the final countdown. 9, 8, 7. Then, every human vessel changed direction. Not toward us. Toward Earth. Madness. Absolute madness. They form a wall. Steel. Fire. Human bodies. Thousands of ships layered themselves between our weapons and their home. They could not survive. They knew it. Still they stayed. Why? Our first volley struck. Human ships vanished. Second volley. More vanished. Third. Fourth. Fifth. The shield of wreckage grew thicker. Each destroyed ship became debris. Each debris field weakened the next blast. Each sacrifice protected the planet below. Our weapons diminished. Again, 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 until the final barrage reached Earth. As scattered sparks, the planet survived. Silence consumed every channel. Even our commanders stopped speaking. Then something impossible happened. The remaining human fleet did not attack. They transmitted coordinates, safe withdrawal routes, rescue frequencies, medical channels, escape corridors. For us, I thought was another trap. No traps followed. Instead, human rescue craft entered the battlefield, not to recover their own, to recover ours. Enemy soldiers pulled wounded aliens from burning wrecks. Enemy doctors treated our officers first because they were in worse condition. Enemy engineers repaired life support systems inside our crippled cruisers. One human medic looked directly into my camera. "We're trying to end the war." He sounded confused, as if that should have been obvious. At that moment, every prediction my civilization had ever trusted died. Years later, I returned to Earth. Not as an auditor, as a student. A child asked me one question. "If you knew we'd never surrender, why did you keep asking?" I had no answer. Because we never understood surrender. To us, it meant choosing life. To humanity, life was the reason they would never surrender. And now, whenever someone tells me humans keep fighting after they die, I no longer call it impossible. I simply ask what they were trying to save. Perhaps that is why the galaxy never feared humanity's weapons. It feared the impossible behind them. Because humans never fought to survive. They survived because they refused to stop fighting. And that is the day I stopped calling humans impossible and started calling them inevitable. If you enjoyed this HFY Sci-Fi story, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another epic sci-fi adventure. Let us know in the comments. If you were in Vecthal's place, would you have underestimated humanity? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next HFY Sci-Fi story.